We do not have an accurate number.
There is disagreement about the number of missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and two-spirited people in Canada. And in a world where data drives decision-making, one Indigenous group is highlighting the importance of accurate documentation for what has become a human rights crisis in the country relating to MMIWG2 plus people.
It's very important, because then how do you know what kind of policies or programs you need to put in place, how much training you need to do, and where you need to do that training? How did this even happen in the first place, that there's undocumented cases?
Lynn Grew, CEO for the Native Women's Association of Canada, says to solve a crisis, one needs to determine how big the crisis is, and she believes Canada doesn't have a clear picture when it comes to MMIWG2 plus issues, in part because of underreporting from Indigenous people to police due to historical distrust with law enforcement. In 2014, the RCMP released a report that showed more than 1,200 missing and murdered Indigenous women documented between 1980 and 2012, but Grew says that number is far too low.
Oh, we think that the number is much higher. We think it's closer, could be between 4,000 and 6,000.
Every day's a struggle, and how do you keep going, right? And, it's the other families that are going to be impacted that, you want to stop that from happening. And we all have a responsibility as society to do something.
Bernadette Smith has spent the last 13 years looking for her sister Claudette Osborne, who vanished in 2008, only weeks after giving birth to her baby girl. Smith says it isn't lost on her, as an Indigenous woman in Canada, that she is 4 times more likely to leave her house and never be seen again when compared to a non-Indigenous person.
Society needs to shift and start treating, people as equals and not looking at race or gender or socioeconomic status.
Our women, who are the backbone of our society to look after our children, are the ones who are under attack.
SCO Grand Chief Jerry Daniels says collecting data is important, which is why his organization conducted a survey into the calls for justice as part of the national inquiry into MMIWG2 plus people to help provide clarity for governments and Canadians about this issue and how to respond to it. The survey shows 80% of respondents are either a family member or friend of an MMIWG2 plus individual.
Many of us are family members are subject to this. We're on the receiving end of a system that is not designed to protect us. In fact, I would say that it's designed to keep us in poverty. And yes, our women become sort of victims of that system. That's why it is how it is right now.
In Winnipeg, Mark Neufeld, City News.